Real quick for the video starts, I just wanted to say I wanted to come back to this, add a little more to it, be a little more in depth. But right now I'm getting cooked by some kind of cold or sickness, so I said F and just let that as it is. But I still hope you enjoyed the video. Now on to the video. Cool.
Fuck! Get me out of the fucking car! Fuck! I don't want to beat the fuck out of anything. I just want to get past the fucking fight! Fuck! God damn it! Fuck! I'll let you know! No! 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 He didn't one-shot me, bro! No way!
So boom. With how much games have progressed over the years, one thing I realized recently that hasn't progressed or has gotten any better, and that is difficulty options or modifiers. You know, I'm pretty sure some of us like a nice little challenge when playing some of these games. Plus, something that makes the game more fun if you like the intended way to play. But there's two things that can happen when picking the hard difficulty of a game. First, it'll most likely turn out the normal difficulty is really the easy difficulty, and the hard difficulty be the normal. But the second thing that can happen sometimes when picking the hard difficulty is, how do I say this? The most fucking miserable, god-awful experience you'll have playing the game. And you'll probably go through a 5 stages degree question as to why developers thought this was okay and be enjoyable. It just boggles my mind when some of these developers think it's a good idea to play in a game. And it's even worse than when playing high degree difficulty. Like, I literally want to fight some of these people that work on some of these games. Like, por qué? Why? The enemies become tanky as hell or bullet sponges depending on the genre you're playing. And your character, you thought you were gonna dominate?
Oh no, baby, what is you doing?
You thought you were gonna be bending them over? No, they're gonna bend you over and hit you with those back shots. Honestly, in most cases, up in the difficulty can be pretty generic. You take a tad more damage, you do a little less damage, that's about it. Most games don't really try to push it to do something unique or interesting with the harder difficulties. Now, before I get into the main game that made me have this realization, and the reason for this damn video, let me point out the few exceptions out there that stand out and do a really good job at doing something different. And most importantly, making it fair, especially if you take the time to learn the game's mechanics. Obviously, the biggest one being the Souls series, and Souls-like games, specifically Neo, with the exception of Elden Ring. Because in my experience playing all the Souls games, I never once thought to myself that I was being cheated or it wasn't fair. But when I played Elden Ring when it first released, I did think that certain enemies or bosses were pretty unfair and BS. I feel like some bosses did not fit the game's slow-paced combat. I know a lot of people will throw Malenia under the bus or maybe some other boss, but honestly, fuck the Elden Beast. Felt like I was doing a track and running a damn marathon. And before someone said, this challenge is magic and all your disposal. Yes, I know, but those things don't fit my playstyle. That's not fun. It would never be fun to play like that. There has been a bunch of patches and updates to the game, so maybe those have helped balance things out and overall the quality of life to the game. Now going back to the Souls games, honestly, they're relatively easy if you play the majority of the series. But what really changes the game when you start that new game plus, then you experience difficulty done right. Another game I think has done it right, heavy emphasis on I think, is the Devil May Cry series with its Dante Must Die difficulty, which I will give a try because it does sound interesting, since enemies and bosses can enter their own double trigger state. The only problem with trying to play difficulty is you need to beat the game twice, and I just can't be asked to do that. But from what I have seen, from what people have said about it, it seems like a welcome challenge. What doesn't probably seem like a welcome challenge though is The Witcher 3's Death March difficulty. The main reason I say that is only if you can't get behind the combat in the game. But if you're fine with it, then the game is meant to play on hard difficulty. I think that's when the game is truly at its best and it's most fun way to play it. You have all these different potions, oils, decoctions, bombs you can craft that you can use for all sorts of different fight scenarios. Then you have the weapons and all the unique armors you can make, the signs you have at your disposal, all the different abilities you can unlock in skill tree, the mutagens, the rune rate. Combine all these mechanics and it complements the game very well. It enhances the player's experience, and most importantly, you'll be bodying the fuck out of these enemies for the most part. Honestly, it's a pretty well balanced difficulty. I can't really see any reason to complain about it. I don't think you have to use everything the game offers, but it'll probably make certain bosses and enemy types easier to deal with. So I feel like I have to throw a shooter in here just to mix things up. And honestly, the only one I can think of that does a good job and offers a unique twist to its hard difficulty is the new Doom games with its Ultra Nightmare difficulty, which can be pretty challenging, especially if you have the aim of a fucking bot. So try not to die, because if you do, that's game over, bud. Time to start right from the beginning. Yeah. But if your aim is that of a pro sweaty charhard, then you should have a fun time here. Or if you're just a normal sane person and not a super psychotic masochist, then you can just play on Nightmare difficulty. It's the same thing as Ultra, just without the permadeath. I will say though, I only got a couple hours into the game, so I don't know everything that's in the game, like enemies, enemy types, or bosses. So I don't know how much of a threat they will pose later on in the game, especially if your character is upgraded. But you do unlock a good amount of stuff early. You know, new weapons, weapon mods, weapon upgrades, character upgrades, and most importantly, movement abilities. So you can be out here bobbing and weaving your the demons in the game. But there's a lot of versatility here. Now, if you play Ghost of Tsushima, you know the hardest difficulty was just hard. But a couple weeks after release, they added a new difficulty called Lethal, which at the time I didn't think made it any harder. In fact, I felt like it kind of made the game easier when we got to the third half of the game, since you and the enemies could kill each other in one hit. So that was one thing you really had to be careful of. I thought it was kind of goofy, but now thinking about it, honestly, it's perfect and kind of realistic for the type of game it is. It makes the encounters with strong enemies and bosses a lot more intense and fun, especially if you're a parry demon or if you took the time to do all the side stuff to unlock all different stances in the game. Okay, so if I'm pointing out the good ones, you know I can't leave out the bad ones, the annoying ones, or more specifically the whole genre of JRPGs. Like, I really don't have one major gripe. Why the hell does it feel like it's required to grind levels? Like, I'm not doing that in a single player game. That sounds dumb as hell. So God forbid you decide playing on hard difficulty. For example, Persona 3, great game, amazing. But I'm not gonna lie, I used cheese to beat the final boss. I don't know if I was in the recommended level or I just didn't bring enough items. It's a long fight, so after certain phases, I knew it was a waste of time. Another example, Xenoblade Chronicles is such a big offender being such a grind fest. I wasn't even the recommended level when fighting the final boss. I think at some point in the game, casual mode was turned on either by me or the game, since they knew I was getting washed. And mind you, I wasn't even playing on hard difficulty for these games, so I only can imagine how awful it would have been if I did. Now, it's time to talk about where this all stems from.
Do I do hardest difficulty? Max difficulty, because I'm not a bitch.
Give me God of War! Give me God of War.
Give me God of War!
3 hours later.
Steps back, step back, step back, steps back, 3.
With the recent release of God of War Ragnarok, I wonder why the fuck are people picking the most unbalanced and broken ass difficulty. So a couple weeks before Ragnarok release, I thought to myself, am I gonna put myself through that grueling torture that I did back then when I played God of War 2018 on Give Me God of War difficulty? Because at the time, I only really did it for the content when I was giving streaming a shot. I really wish I had the footage to show, because no lie, I was really getting fucking smoked in the beginning. But unfortunately, I was streaming off the PS4 at the time. Now, once I got used to the game's mechanics, got more abilities for me, and it became a little more feasible. But what really changed the game was when I learned how fast the stun meter builds up when you hit the enemies with that fist, shield, arrow, kick, and air juggle combo. Then I really became a dog. Except when it came to the Valkyries, they were just different. Especially the goddamn queen. I really had to lock in and pull out all the stops to beat her ass. Now wait till the day Ragnarok's release to play, which I'm glad I did, because if I played at midnight, I probably would play on second hardest difficulty and felt like a little bitch. Thankfully, they fixed the problem with Give Me God of War difficulty. Like God of War 2018's hard difficulty and Ragnarok's hard difficulty, which I'm going to refer to as Give Me God of War 1.0 and Give Me God of War 2.0. But they are drastically different in terms of how much damage you take. In Give Me God of War 2.0, you can take a good 3 or 4 hits before you're dead, depending on the enemy's level. But in Give Me God of War 1.0, no. Most of the time you're dead in 2 hits, sometimes even 1. And in terms of damage you do, it's pretty much the same. I think you do a slight more damage in Give Me God of War 2.0. I'm gonna be honest though, if you haven't played God of War 2018, what are you doing? Go play it. It's on PC too. And if you were thinking about playing it, do not play on hardest difficulty. It's not fun. It's probably one of the most broken and unfair things you'll experience. Unless you're a content creator, then go for it. Let your community watch you struggle and rage. You know, I'm pretty sure the developers probably seen how stupidly unfair the difficulty was. Or maybe they knew how brutal it was, that's why they never patched it when they were still updating the game. So they sat back and enjoyed everyone's suffering, getting their shit kicked in. But I do hope that other devs can take a page out of Ragnarok's books on how to fix and do it difficulty correctly. Because even though Give Me God of War 2.0 doesn't add anything new to it or have a twist to it, the game has these elements and enemy mechanics that are further amplified on hard difficulties. It keeps you on your toes, you have ways to counter certain things, you learn how to approach all the different enemies, and you don't feel like you're being hoed or scammed. I will say though, these goddamn stupid Dark Elves. If you hate them God of War 2018, don't worry, they're back with their damn explosions that blind you. Especially this flying bitch that's just constantly flying away from you. Like, come here, come catch these damn hands. Also, I don't know if this was just me, but there were moments where you'd be chilling, relaxing, maybe doing some of the side stuff. There's nothing going on, the characters are talking to each other. Then for some reason, it turns into a horror game. Honestly, whoever was behind that, whether it's intentional or not, you're a dickhead. But I think that about does it. It's time for me to get back to playing Ragnarok. So if you enjoyed the video, it would be really appreciated if you like, subscribe, share with everyone in your family, your friend group, your partner, or other than that, I'm out. Peace.